Mr. Jenny.
It's 6:30.
It's 6:30.
Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Culver Town Council. This time I'd ask that if they have an electronic device, please either put it on airplane or turn it off. This meeting is being broadcast and recorded for public access and publication by the town of Culver and ordinance with Indiana open door law. Excuse me, open door law and local meeting procedures. Your participation in this meeting is to have your statements included in the public record. We value public participation and input, and citizens will have to address the council regarding concerns, questions, comments, agenda-related matters during the designated public input section. Except for public hearing, audience participation will not be permitted during the remainder of the meeting, so the council may effectively conduct the business before it. Now, I added a little different twist to this, and after, when we get to council issues and action, we open it up again to the public for any comments on anything that's been discussed on the agenda. So I thank you all for your cooperation, interest, and business of the town, and we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
William Clevenger.
Present.
Joe Day is absent.
Present.
Sorry. Dana Neer.
Present.
Sally Ricciardi.
Here.
Will you all please join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I submit one time to Kyle. Next on the agenda is a section called Public Concern, Utility Ordinance Violations and Appeals. So anyone in here for an ordinance violation appeal? Anyone online?
No one's at meeting. So.
All right, thank you. Public dialogue. Here's the opportunity to open discussions with the public concerning items on the agenda. I know we have a public hearing tonight too, so anybody here for public dialogue that pertains to anything? Yes, please.
Bill, hey, Kerry Chesterton, 520 South Plymouth. I was on campus last Saturday for the parade. And I don't know if this is, it's just a comment, an observation. We can take it where we want to. There was an emergency on campus. A woman needed medical assistance in stands. The town was called for EMS. After that, I'm not sure what happened. And my point is, do we have a plan with the town and the campus to understand where they need to go once they're dispatched? Because it was an absolute disaster from just a layman's point of view. And if we don't, we need to, because something could happen and it could come on us for responsibility and also could come on the school for responsibility. But it certainly wasn't a comforting sight.
Thank you for bringing that up, and I'd like to address that there's been dialogue this week between our fire chief and our acting EMS director and the academy to try and not have, avoid the situation that we had. Understanding part of it may have been the academy overestimating what we had, but it's being addressed, Gary. Yeah, and go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, following up Chad Becker, also they met in the situation. What happened was a coordination issue and some of the communication at the academy. They have resolved that. It was expressed. The first was rallying point, and then the who takes lead between physical trainer, the health center. Once we're on the site, we take lead. There was also some communication things between EMS dispatch and fire dispatch that has been resolved. The result of it, they met on site with Andy Settlemeyer and Andy Doral has been in conversation. And there was a plan in place. The execution of the plan may have been more of the issue. They're taking care of their side. We realized we had some opportunities for communication to improve. They met the next day as well for 2 hours to discuss this and came up with some solutions that hadn't been considered before. So the product was good. Carrie, their assessment would be fair that there was some miscommunication. They did get it resolved. People were taken care of, but they don't want to see this in the future. And there's been conversations.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it to the attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susie, do you have anything other than?
Well, you're going to talk about the DORA, and I did want to talk about the DORA, but is now when I should talk about the?
No, we'll talk about the DORA during the public hearing,
Should I bring up the sidewalk issue now?
if you want to.
Okay. So Susie Mahler, Cafe Max, downtown business for years. Since that new, and I say new, what, 8-10 years ago, the sidewalk, the whole downtown sidewalk, street renovation thing was put in. We've had varying levels on the, in my two buildings, where am I? From the curb is one level in certain spots, the brick is another level in certain spots, and then the sidewalk is another level, and it is not consistent. And customers trip all the time. I brought it up to several town managers, multiple council people over the years. So we're talking 8 years probably, we've been talking about it. But quite frankly, I'm getting older. I've got osteoporosis, and I understand now that falling is even worse than I anticipated. And my customers tell me every day, one of which is here, Jeff Hansick somewhere. Hansick, Jeffrey. But just this weekend alone, some out of towners said that while they were sitting there having lunch, they saw 3 different people fall. Jeff, how often do you see people stumble at the cafe due to the curb situation and sidewalk?
Jeff Hansick, Culver, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, I eat probably every day that she's open down here at Cafe Max because I don't cook anymore. It's interesting because it is not just elderly. It is children. It is people 50, 40. But Susie asked me to just come to testify that I have seen this on multiple occasions. Last year, it seems already this year it's worse. Now, maybe we got more people in town, or maybe there's a shifting of the sidewalk, concrete and brick things. The only thing I would like to do is remind the board of the TV commercial. It's not a question of if, it's going to be a question of when. And I think that's a beautiful medical liability lawsuit the town may face. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I speak as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Angela Schmidt, born and raised Culver, Indiana. I wanted to speak about the sidewalk issue. My mother is 83 and lives in town with her posse, as my husband and I like to call the other old gals that she runs with. And I worked at Cafe Max until I graduated from IU, and we are there every Sunday because I just don't cook. But this past weekend, we were there on Friday, and we take my mother in for breakfast every Sunday, and I was sitting outside, and I witnessed a couple of kids almost fall. I witnessed an elderly gentleman almost fall, and we have to take my mother by the arm to help her. There's no bright yellow to call somebody's attention to, there's a step down, the way the parking is made. It's kind of visually obstructs for some people. And we have to remember, I mean, many of you are elderly. I mean, I'm not 20, let's be honest. And it is a legal liability issue that we all know about it. Nothing is being done. And it's only a matter of time before either my mother or one of her posse, or somebody else trips and falls. And with the traffic that we have in the summer, my concern is you fall and the car hits you. And just so I don't look like an alarmist, my next door neighbor actually died 20 years ago in a freak accident where bam, or fell off her bike in front of a car, boom. That stuff happens. And we need to be aware of that and take action before it becomes a liability. I'm more concerned about my mother and her friends being injured. But like I said, I witnessed it several times Friday and Sunday of last week.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Craig Meswitz, 522 South Main. It doesn't help that the guy that owns Surf Pro lets his kids ride their bicycles on that sidewalk too.
Oh, really?
So that's an added danger once you leave the area. And I can tell you, I have walking issues. Jeff can testify that I stumbled on his table, which is how we met. It's very dangerous over there. And I have decent vision, but like she said, there's some people that go there every week that thing isn't fixed. There's something that has to be done, right? Because one lawsuit, they'll own this thing.
Thank you.
So in anticipation, because just coming up and bringing it up again doesn't mean anything's going to get done. It might take forever for research to get done. I did meet with Rocky Bachman, who's a contractor, a concrete person yesterday. I invited Bill down because I ran into him at the restaurant earlier in the day and asked Rocky, is this something that could be remedied without ripping everything out? And Rocky was gracious, spent about an hour and a half explaining to Bill and I how it could be done. At one point, the curb is higher than my sidewalk. So just another error in the design, but he said they could eliminate the tripping hazard. Now the water would not, in that point, would not go over the curb, but it at least flows downhill toward the flower bed, toward the storm drain. And that is something I think we could all live with. He said there's no issue of it coming into the buildings, but short of ripping out the curbs also, it would be a simple remedy. Along with that, since he was there, we were talking, he brought up that all the planters are not helpful in that they could be funneling water under the concrete and also creating issues. I said, well, by the way, none of the merchants that have ever owned businesses there, or even the current ones, because I had talked to all of them, want any of those planters. They do not want that. I showed the building at the old floor shop this week. That person would like to know, how can they get rid of those plants? I talked to Steve Marsh. Steve Marsh said, we're happy to see those things go. I talked to Susie Wakefield. She said her customers have trouble getting to her, for older people getting to the classes because they have to walk so far down. I talked to Marcy on FaceTime, her and Carl, who own the building next to me. They said they would love to see it all gone and see it just be concrete and bench. So it could all be taken care of in one foul swoop. We have had these issues since the installation of that project. I'm just getting a little tired of explaining I have more and more customers telling me as if I need to do something. So I am making one last effort publicly to beg assistance on, or am I allowed to rip out the sidewalk myself and do it again? I'll do that too.
Thank you, Susan.
And this is, I'm not something I'm expecting a comment on tonight. I just am throwing it out there.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Anything else on public comment? Anybody online? Sir Joe.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we're talking, long as we're talking that area, I brought this to the attention last year. The corner there of Madison and Main, that foliage that is there is really, really high. And if you are going east on Madison, where I always park over there, and then turning north on Main Street, it amazes me how fast cars can get between the stop sign at Jefferson and there. I have to get my car 1/3 out. I drive a Cadillac, to be able to see to the left because of that flowering shrubbery and everything. I really think if I have the problem, I can't imagine that is.
I forgot, I have had a lot of customers make comments about that. And I also have noticed, as we have kids running across, if they're flying on a bicycle, you might not see them. So that is a concern. It is getting really high.
Any other dialogue? Okay, now we're gonna really start the council meeting. And then we'll get to the public hearing. June 25th, 2026, regular meeting, approval of minutes, councilors, and we had a chance to review the minutes and any additions, corrections.
I make a motion to approve those minutes from June.
Mr. Neer moves to approve the minutes. Mr. Sardi seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger,
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe,
Aye.
Mr. Neer,
Aye.
Ms. Charity.
Aye.
Aye. I have now privilege of opening the public hearing on ordinance 2026-005. This is establishing a designated outdoor refreshment area commonly known as a DORA. And I have 53. Public hearing.
A motion to open the public hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
Mr. Sardi moves to open the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Neer. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger,
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe,
Aye.
Neer.
Aye.
Mr. Charity.
Aye.
Public hearing.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So I know what this is. So the public hearing, is it to get pros and cons from the public? Have you all taken an initial vote, or are you waiting for feedback from the public before you take an initial vote?
This is the time for public comment.
I understand that, but have
Yes.
you already taken a vote, or are you waiting for public commentary before you?
Yeah, okay, it takes what we call readings, takes 3 readings. Last council meeting, we passed it on first read. So the second meeting is now the public hearing, okay?
I appreciate it.
Little confusing.
No, I appreciate it. I just want
Yeah.
some clarification. So again, Angela Schmidt, I am very pro this. For my job, I travel, I've been a road warrior for 25 years, meaning I get on a plane every week and go to different places. And I always drive when I'm home to give as much of my business to Culver as possible. because I'm of the mindset, if you don't shop and spend your money local, there will be no local businesses, which then is a problem for everyone, because obviously of the tax base. And I think things like this really promote, as long as it's handled appropriately, and it sounds like the proposal is following the appropriate guidelines. I think it really brings people in. It also, most importantly, encourages you to go from business to business. Because I will tell you, when I come into the cafe, or Lucretia's, I automatically go, in fact, I did it this past weekend. I automatically go to the shops. You want to encourage people to wander. So as long as you have those cups that identify what's going on, and we have barriers, so people can't just, wander the streets of Culver and cause, whatever they would do. I think it is a wonderful thing because it encourages people come to Culver instead of going to Plymouth or to Rochester or wherever. We want to keep the money in Culver. We want to encourage that. And, not just in the summer, because the lake people are only here for a short period of time. We want these kind of things to be able, we have a festival in the fall. If we have something in the winter, you want to be able to bring people in and keep them in, keep the money in Culver. Thank you.
May I ask, what's your address?
I own property in Maple Ridge Drive for my mother. The lease is in my name and I write the check, but I do not physically live, or I physically live in Plymouth.
What's the address? It's just for the minutes, because it's a public hearing.
Who else would like to speak at the public hearing on DORA?
Speak, but I guess I was wondering if anyone is against it.
Otherwise.
So it's kind of,
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. I guess that's,
yeah, I mean, I'm happy to speak to.
I see what she's saying.
Yeah.
We are all for it. We're all for it. Do you want us to still say why?
No, briefly, this was the public hearing, so.
So Liz Lamrou, business owner on Main Street. We need your help down there. That's partly why I'm very for it. We need reasons to get people to drive down to our little adorable old world charm down there on Main Street. And we're really trying to work together to create an atmosphere that invites people to enjoy food and shopping and just community down in that little stretch. And so I hope that you'll approve it and that people will support it, really, to not only will they want to come and do it, but also to support our little area that needs help.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Barb Johnson, 18243 West Shore Circle, Culver. I just did a little bit of research if there was any negativity that follows with the DORA, and there's no statistics saying that there is. It's all positive from what we have. I know there's at least 10 towns in Indiana, cities that do this, and they're all saying that it has brought in more revenue to the businesses around the DORA, wherever that block is. So that's all I have to say. I'm for it. Hope it happens.
Thank you.
Okay. The shops working together. So, me, I'm always on foot circling shops. And Marcy Cook wasn't able to come. She thought she might be able to make it. So Marcy sent an email saying, and then good to see each of you. And then Steve Marsh from Surfboro, I asked him if he had an opinion, and he said he was for it, he had no issues. And so then he went ahead and signed what Marcy had sent. And I guess I'll throw it at you. But then they also addressed the sidewalk. So I not only talked to them all about, do you oppose the DORA? Do you want the DORA? Do you think it'll help you? They were all for that. And then they all at the same time talked about the sidewalk shrubbery, and they all want to see it go too. So.
Because we have to stay on the topic.
Right, but that, we're gonna bring it up because it's on that email. So she addressed both in one email. That's fine. That was it.
Anyone else speaking on it? Yes, sir, Derek.
Westwood's 522 South Main. I'm for it, but I have some questions. And the questions I have for people that aren't here, I want to talk to the fire chief. I want to talk to the police chief. I want to talk to the EMS guy. I want to go to the 30 cities that have doors in Indiana. 2 cities have 2 different doors, which I see that happening here. In the future, because you can't single out one, and not include the other. I think we have a lot of issues with manpower. And my concern is to throw back that sidewalk situation. If something happens at this and we're not staffed properly, we're gonna be in a world of hurt. It'd be like if that lady that was sitting at the beach got hit by that sycamore tree. We'd have been in big trouble. So I think we need to be proactive. I think we need to hear from Chad. I think we need to hear from Bobby. Can't remember the temporary gal's name. I think we need to hear from her and find out how it impacts us. I am for it because that area is dying. And like this young lady said, if the businesses die down there, culvertize.
I appreciate the young lady part, by the way.
So I think we just need to do some more research, and I'm curious, have any of you guys up there on the dais been to any of these cities that have a door?
Rochester.
Yeah. Plymouth has one too.
If I may address some of the concerns, just for the public record. Number one, yes, been to it. Susie originally approached me last year. Some of the delay, my apology, was that we wanted to properly research it. Chad has been involved in every step of this. He's researched it when he was down at Chief School in Indianapolis with the other chiefs of police. We looked at enforcement. We looked at some of the unintended consequences of it. We've also researched online what we need to do to make sure. One of the reasons we're confining it between Madison and Jefferson is most of our business is right there. Lake House already has an outdoor patio, and therefore they have a venue there. Plus, we want to keep it out of the park because we're not sure what we understand yet about it. This is a proper place to install it, and it has the most effective use. Plus, we're working with retail strategies. It has future implications about business attraction and development in that area. To your point, Craig, absolutely, we vetted this, and probably a little bit more time than what some of the shop owners wanted us to. We drug our feet a little bit to make sure that we understood it. I think we're in a good place now. I think that we've done the proper research. We've talked to Lisa. Bobby is not against it. We understand that we have ordinances already existing that can deal with open container. If they leave it, we don't need to write special ordinances for them leaving the DORA. We have enforcement capability there. And therefore, it's no other burden than any other open container law would present to our community or our enforcement levels. So I think we're in a good place.
So does it mean that this Saturday's event will be
No,
a trial run?
No, it does
No
not.
alcohol.
So we still have procedures to go through, including petitioning and sending it down to the state. We have applications for our store owners and for Susie to fill out. We also have to acquire the signage, get it installed. Ms. Porter will be doing that with waste receptacles on both ends to make sure that they dispose of their cups as they leave. They are not allowed to leave the door with those. And we need to go through that process. So we're going to try to get it. We knew that we were trying to get it for second Sunday, but there's probably going to be a bit of delay as we look. Looks like the average process going down to the state to get it approved is about anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks. We're hoping that 3 to 4 range.
The request was made a year ago, August.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And we have
it's been-
taken time.
It's been talked about for
I
a while.
thought that was for exploring it. I didn't realize it
No.
was for outdoor alcohol one, because I do remember that.
Yes.
And I've been to cities around the country. I'm like her, I was a traveler for 30 years. And some of the best memories I have on the road by myself are going into an area in a city that had it available for outdoor dining, outdoor drinking, live music. Every once in a while you saw a food truck. Every once in a while you saw a dessert truck, which I've tried to steal those a couple times, but it doesn't work. So I think it's something that every step in the right direction, but I just feel after some of the things that have gone on, we need to let everybody know what's going on. Because that one person that doesn't know and is affected by it is going to cause us a lot of problems.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Fred, you asked about research. I did meet with Kokomo's mayor and 2 city council members and 2 county commissioners 2 weeks ago. They're all for it. This is their second year for DORA. Their feedback and data right now is that it does not affect shopkeepers' merchandise sales. That's what's happening in Kokomo on the courthouse square. No marked increase on sales. Maybe it will down the road. Their two feedbacks that are positive is that celebration attitude, all that happens, very good. No problems. There's been no arrests. There's been no disorderly conduct. It's been great. And then just the ease of people who sell the drinks, being able to just not worry about them leaving the establishment. And there's a lot of places on the courthouse square compared to ours downtown,
Our one block.
our one block. But it's been very positive there. And hopefully merchandise sales will spike in the years to come, as we hopefully will be here to.
Dana, that's exactly what Rochester shared with me. I sit on a group. There's a project over there I'm working on with a group of people, and a couple of the restaurants are saying that they think it's increased their sales by as much as 10%. And they're now looking at another project to align potentially some trail segments to run through that DORA area to a trailhead area. But most of the feedback I've heard for Rochester has been very positive. And then Mayor Lissenberger said the same thing about Plymouth.
I want to
So
talk,
I've not heard anything negative about them.
I'd like to add to Ms. Monroe. I too spoke with the mayor of Rochester and very supportive. In fact, they're looking at expanding their DORA. No negative feedback from him. They're very happy that they made the decision to have a DORA.
I want to toss in, I think there might be, just to clarify, we're not looking at this as far as the merchants downtown as this becoming a massive liquor sale situation. This is to get people to linger in the shops. And so as an example, if we were to do, say like Fall Fest, the cafe would probably still go for a temporary event permit to sell beer outside. So if you're talking large volumes, we would still do something like that. This does not allow us to move a keg out and sell like before we did my anniversary or like we do Fall Festival. That would still require a permit. This is just for those kind of an added benefit to visiting our downtown. If the husband wants to sit on the bench and have a drink while his wife is zipping around, take a break, doing shopping. If the women want to feel a little naughty and take a mimosa with them while they're doing a little shopping, waiting on the cafe to yell their name, that is just getting them into their stores. This is not, because it is such a small block, this is not massive sales. This is just truly for the merchants.
Thank you, Susie.
And customers.
Yes, customers.
President, I have two letters. If you would allow me to read these into the record.
Mr. Dante, would you please read the letters that we have on file?
Dated July 9th, 2026 to the Culver County Council. I'm writing in strong support of ordinance number 2026-005, establishing a designated outdoor refreshment area, otherwise known as DORA, along Main Street between Jefferson Street and Madison Street in downtown Culver. As a member of the strategic plan Destination 2040, the Visitor Center board member, Develop Culver board member, and superintendent of schools, quite a list, I have heard the desire for Culver to find its niche, especially in the realm of quality of life activities. I believe by creating a DORA, it will open up opportunities for business and residents to have events to attend on a regular basis. Currently, our Visitor Center director has tried to plan the weekend festivals in hopes to draw our residents and tourists. I truly believe these events should have organizations, businesses, or boards that plan them, and to have a DORA in place will help these entities and our visitor center. As stated by others, I agree.
The proposed DORA directly supports the economic ecosystem by encouraging visitors to spend more time downtown, move between businesses, attend community events, and patronize local retailers in addition to restaurants and bars. For these reasons, I respectfully encourage the town council to adopt ordinance number 2026-005 and establish the Culver Main Street designated outdoor refreshment area. Thank you for your consideration and for your continued commitment to the success of downtown Culver. Respectfully, Karen Schuman, EDS, Superintendent, Culver Community Schools. Second letter dated July 8, 2026 to the Culver Town Council. We are writing in strong support of ordinance number 2026-005, establishing a designated outdoor refreshment area, DORA, along Main Street between Jefferson Street and Madison Street in downtown Culver. Culver is not a typical small town in Indiana. As a destination community anchored by Lake Maxinkuckee, Culver Academy's seasonal tourism and vibrant hospitality sector, our local economy depends heavily on visitors who come to experience our restaurants, shops, events, the lake, and walkable downtown. The proposed DORA directly supports the economic ecosystem by encouraging visitors to spend more time downtown, move between businesses, attend community events, and patronize local retailers in addition to restaurants and bars. Importantly, the proposed ordinance creates a modest and controlled DORA covering only one block of Main Street. This limited footprint makes it easy to manage while providing meaningful economic benefits for local businesses. Indiana communities such as Noblesville, Fort Wayne, and Westfield have embraced DORAs as tools to increase foot traffic, tourism, and spending in downtown districts. Early reports from Fort Wayne noted significant increase in activity and revenue among participating businesses. Beyond Indiana, communities throughout Ohio have successfully used DORAs to strengthen downtown business districts, create vibrant public gathering spaces, and attract visitors. We already have experience with a DORA here in Culver when you all approved one for a limited period of time in connection with the anniversary for Cafe Max. That event brought hundreds of people from a broad spectrum of the community as well as visitors to downtown throughout that day in an atmosphere that was both festive and positive. Culver is exceptionally well positioned to benefit from the approach proposed in the draft ordinance. The proposed DORA encompasses a compact, walkable section of Main Street already populated by restaurants, retail shops, gathering spaces, and visitors' amenities. It complements existing community events, summer tourism, and downtown commerce without requiring significant public investment. For these reasons, we respectfully encourage the town council to adopt ordinance number 2026-005 and establish the Culver Main Street designated outdoor refreshment area. Thank you for your consideration and for your continued commitment to downtown success of Culver. Respectfully, Don and Tracy Fox. Thank you. Enter those into the record.
Ms. Heim, is there anyone online?
There's several people online. I guess this will be your time to speak if you want to.
There were a couple online, she said.
Okay. Is that online?
That's not going to speak.
That's not what I speak. Okay. Yes, sir.
I just have one, Craig, I just have one thing to say about Don and Tracy Fox's letter. Let's be real. People came here for Susie. They didn't come here to come cold. They came here to celebrate Susie, who has maintained and kept this town together for 40 years. She has the best damn fried chicken I've ever tasted.
Here, here.
And well, and I was you that said she had these. Never.
Well, thank you very much for the
But I
kind
think
endorsement.
that's the reason. I mean, I don't think we can use that as a success situation for Adora because those people were truly here for Susie.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak on the behalf of the DORA? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right. Mr. Neer moves to close the public hearing. Ms. Monroe seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Oh, roll
Aye.
call.
Mr. Clevenger,
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe,
Aye.
Mr. Neer,
Aye.
Ms. McCarty.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed and I have 7:12. Councilors, we've had the public hearing. We've heard discussion. We've had letters of recommendation. What is the pleasure of the council?
Motion to approve on second read.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve on second read. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Shardy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger,
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe,
Aye.
here.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy,
Aye.
Bill, I would make a motion to suspend the rules on third pass and pass on third read.
Ms. Monroe moves to suspend the rules and pass on third read. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Neer. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger,
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe,
Aye.
Mr. Neer.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy,
Aye.
The ordinance has been adopted.
Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to be able to distribute the necessary applications, business owners as well as Susie, and begin the process of installing these proper signage and moving forward with this. With your permission, council? Yes, thank you.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you to the council. I think shops, we all are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We,
Thank you.
But we've got more show.
We try to get
do we have any new business? No new business. Department reports. EMS.
Lisa has emailed you the report. I'm sure there's communication about the weekend and some things that are positive. She regrets not being here. I'll also say Bobby had an unexpected event that he had to be in attendance for, and we will send the report next week. I do have one ask. I'll cover it during town managers. And Chad will not be in. He also sends his regards and report.
All right. Crystal.
I really don't have anything.
All right.
I didn't know if anybody had any questions about trees or porta potties, but I don't have anything for you guys.
No.
Okay, great.
Not me.
Bob, utilities.
I don't have any action items for you, just a couple of updates. The water plant is wrapping up. They're painting today, we should finish that tomorrow. Electrician's gonna come in next week. So that's about right. The in situ form linings project down here, they've called me about a schedule. I told them to stay away from that Lake Fest weekend. So they're gonna call me back when they get your cleaning crew back. Mr. Sullivan has called. He's still working on a list for us to visit. Surveyor should be rolling in anytime this coming week or the week after he starts certifying his survey. With the project. About all I have, other than any questions for me?
Mr. Dante, town manager report.
Hang on.
I have a quick question for Bob, if you guys don't mind. If we could get, have Bob take a look at that main sidewalk drag that the merchants brought up. I agree with him that it's more a problem than even the aesthetics of it aren't that great, to be frank. So it'd be great to get a quote to beyond fixing that curb situation in front of Susie's, maybe a quote to tear out the plants and all the weird stuff.
The reason that planter thing is there is because there's too much elevation between the door and the top of the curb. So the alternative for that flower plant, whatever you call it, is a high sidewalk and a low sidewalk and a guardrail north and south in between. There's too much slope to get an ADA. So there is a reason that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Different, of course you can, but there has to be some sort of delineation between the door level and the top of the curb level. That's why that plant section is in there, is to delineate that so you don't travel in that section.
My 2 cents on that, since liability has been brought up.
number of times.
But you brought it up. Oh,
Well, I didn't bring it up. I brought it up 4 or 5 times in that discussion. I would get some signage out there.
well, if it's as bad as what was said tonight, I can barricade that whole section off.
Well, whatever you decide, I'm just saying that you give some sort of a warning is all I'm saying. But once you start down the road of rectifying what you perceive to be the hazard, a lot of that stuff's grandfathered in as not required to be ADA compliant. But once you start tearing those sidewalks out, then you will have to be ADA compliant. And I'm agreeing with you. Let me get there. That not everybody will be thrilled with the result because it will alter. They might recommend another crosswalk, which will cut down on some parking because right now you got people. I mean, technically, if you get out of your car, you walk to the crosswalk, go up the sidewalk where it has a zero entry, then back down. Yeah, you're going up uneven ground. You're going up curbs that have varying heights. So you have to create a way for them to get to, or create another crosswalk in the middle there, which could cut down on. I'm just saying, once you go down that road, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think
tables are there also shoving people.
Yeah, towards so you've got a very narrow road with already double parking, maybe a parking lot somewhere, and eliminating the parking there is going to be, because then you need a bike route. Bike's been brought up. These electric bikes are getting more popular. You got to have good signage. You don't allow those because those electric bikes weigh a ton and they go 30 miles an hour. So
the elevation issues that she's describing is that section of brick that's in there. Under that brick is a bed of sand and then a concrete floor. So it needs picked up. The sand needs replaced. It's washed out it was put in 2012. Well, so it needs replaced. So I have, after talking to Kevin last night, I have asked for a quote to pick those bricks up, resand it, and put them back down flush, as opposed to having that sink.
Okay, I mean, right. I'm just making an overall point that it would be good to, if you're going to address the overall issue for that downtown area where you have a high traffic, then you get a ADA expert to give you a plan that is going to fit with ADA compliance before you start piecemealing it. I'm not saying don't fix that. I'm just saying
I know
that's for as far as liability concerned.
The tables are there making it non-ADA.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other.
This is a huge. It's not just a simple fix.
So like you might have. I just was jotting some notes. You might have an extra crosswalk. You might have a bike path. You might have a pedestrian path to get to the crosswalks. You might have more zero entry levels to get up onto the sidewalk. And then the biggest issue is ownership. Does anybody know who owns the sidewalks?
We do.
You're sure we do?
Yeah, because we just did a transportation enhancement project in 2012. So it was NDOT funds. So it was very, it's very, if you look down there, there's slivers of concrete that we had to leave because we weren't allowed to remove it.
Yeah, and I know that, I just know.
I remember the steps that were there too.
Whole pit underneath there on the southern building that she has.
Winamac got an NDOT grant and just redid all their downtown sidewalks last year. So
we did that in 2012.
Okay.
That's when all this was.
Okay.
It just wasn't well designed, but we were dealing with weird problems at the time, like those stairs. If I remember right, Bob, those stairs were right there too.
I had lots of problems with that engineering firm, but we made it through it.
I think one of them may have even gotten fired during that process.
I think so. But we can have a long.
At least we could, paint the problem area or put signage there, like Kevin said. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think our ordinance does not allow electric, I don't know if it's electric bikes, but I know for a fact you can't have skateboarders in the commercial district. So we shouldn't be seeing kids riding those electric things or skateboards. And we may have to add verbiage to that part of the ordinance and put up a sign or two, because I used to chase them off when we owned a commercial building down there, because they would fly through there and practically knock over shoppers. I mean, it got to be obscene on that block for a while because there were a few kids that got skateboards, and some of them now are electronic skateboards and they can really go high speed, and it just was not safe. So I know for a fact you can't have them in the commercial areas, but I don't know that it's easily enforced. You have to catch the kids at the time, right?
So Kevin, do you think we should? Not Kevin, sorry.
Yes, Kevin.
Should we barricade that?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I mean, my concern for the county is liability issues. So yes, if there's a concern, as was expressed here tonight, that people are falling in droves and potentially hurting themselves, then yes, but I don't want you to create any further
It will. That's why I'm asking.
risk. So it's a matter of measuring risk. First and foremost, let's just put our minds at ease. You're not in any jeopardy liability wise. You have policy of insurance. Your first line of defense is insurance. So if you have a question about this, include your insurance agent and talk about umbrella policies. That's a very cold way of addressing it because I'm just talking about the fact that you're covered. But we don't want people to get hurt first and foremost.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my alternative is to barricade the whole thing, and that closes that whole strip.
But
So I don't want to do that either. So
from a lawyer's perspective, mark it well or barricade it off and talk to your insurance agent. That's my advice.
well, somebody,
how
I'm
you address
assuming
the
Susie has marked red paint on those. I was down there this morning looking.
It's there when I was.
But
I
then,
visited
yeah,
last night.
then address the problem, which is gonna, when you start down that road, I just am recommending that you get a report by an ADA compliance officer that can give you, talk and cordon off that whatever that area, the high traffic area is, can't do the whole town, but whatever the high traffic area is, and what they recommend is gonna be, because the ADA guidelines change
In
all the time.
2012, it was ADA compliant.
Okay, well then,
It had to be because it was federal fund.
yeah, and
Now,
there's
the
a
tables have been
county,
added. There was
Marshall,
a fence, but that's gone.
there's a Marshall County ADA board, right? There should be.
We actually, if I can, I actually have made a contact with one of the best in the state.
Yeah,
Works with NDOT. He's out of Frankfort, Indiana. He'll be happy to come up, take a look at the ADA compliancy.
Come visit.
If I can make a recommendation really quickly, I think in the short term, we fixed the tripping hazard in front of Cafe Max, and hence why I asked Bob to take a look at solutions for that specifically. And that's resetting those bricks. Bob's gonna get some quotes and some ideas for the council for the next meeting. I think there's a larger issue at hand, not to conflate the two. I think there needs to be a re-understanding of that area as a whole. I think that's where the ADA compliancy officer coming down to give recommendations and also looking at some of the redesign elements that Susie mentioned tonight will be useful. I'd like to take care of the tripping hazard first with council's permission to get those quotes in front of you for the next meeting for action. And then secondly, pursue it in late summer, early fall. We'll bring the ADA in and start looking at possible solutions to some of the other, maybe, let's not call them issues, but design things that Susie mentioned tonight.
Funding will be
Yeah,
there.
I think that's great, Kevin, because we also know we have some sort of weird water issue going on. Maybe we can solve them both over
That's good.
time.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Are you asking for a motion?
No, I'm just making recommendation. That's what I'll present to the council. And if that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I've solicited one. I'll try to get more.
Yeah.
And you'll have quotes for the next, for the trip hazard.
Yes, sir.
Town
Thank
manager.
you.
Get this party started. All right, let's go. I've got a correction. Travis McVicker today called and asked me to make a request of reading his letter of resignation into the public record. Lisa presented to the council and he just wanted to make sure that he's accurately depicted for the resignation. So I read the following. May 15th, 2026. Dear Kevin, please accept this letter as my formal resignation from my position as an EMT with Culver Union Township EMS, effective immediately. And that was May 15th. After careful considerations, I've decided to move on from my role due to an ongoing difference in management and workplace communication that I do not believe can be resolved in a productive way. While I appreciate the experience I've gained and the opportunity to serve the community, I feel it is in my best interest to pursue a work environment that is better fit for me professionally. Sincerely, Travis McVicker. So noted. If you don't mind, I'm going to put some check boxes here as I move forward. The second thing, like I said earlier, Bobby was called away at the last minute unexpectedly, but he did make a request that I solicit or ask the council for a not to exceed 56,000 based on 2 quotes that he's provided council through email. This is for the McQueen Group and the Hoosier Fire Equipment. This is for equipment for the new rig. He is listed the Hearst Combine Extraction Tool, 17,000, battery operated ventilation fan. He's getting more apartment fires that involve cooking or smoke incidences. These help. $4,500. Fire hose, 16,000. As he stated in his email, he is trying to do an a la carte from the 2 quotes to maximize his expenditure and his money. He's asking for the not to exceed 56,000, as that would be the maximum limit. As you know, we received the grant from the public safety grant from Marshall County for 50 grand. Bobby also notes in his email to me, 5,000 for a volunteer fire assistant grant from DNR. Looks like it will be coming in the months. That would leave a gap if at the highest amount of $1,000, which he's spoken with Karen, and Karen has reached out to township and they're in communication with each other. So I asked the council for an approval not to exceed 56,000 for the 2 quotes that Bobby has shared with you for the fire equipment.
I'll make that motion with thanks to Karen for reaching out to the township.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve the appropriation. For a second. Second by Mr. Sharkey. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Mr. Here.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
And thank you, council. As you've heard earlier tonight, but I will repeat for public record, we were not able to get the Lily Ready Grant 2.0 for the Arts and Culture Project. It was a strong pool of candidates this year. Marshall County did not receive any of the grants. There were about 6, I think, applicants, 5 or 6 applicants. I'm working from memory. Nobody received the grant. I'm continuing to get some follow-up on that and some feedback as to why. I felt like we had a very strong project. I think we still have a strong project, as noted with our earlier work session tonight. And I look forward to that work and not giving up on that. It's good stuff. So I'm not discouraged. I do have a concern that was brought to me about public safety on State Road 10. At School Street and 10 at that corner in Tamarack. There's been some incidences recently and Chad has been involved in it. And I've spoken with Chad as well. We both spoke with the writer of the letter. If I may read the letter, seems to be the theme tonight, into the record. Hello, my name is Robin Nichols and I am the owner of the residence located at 18964 State Road 10 in Culver, Indiana. I hold a deep affection for our home as it is inherited from my parents and holds sentimental value for our family. Additionally, we are very fond of Culver as a town. However, we have encountered significant concern at our residence. The speed of vehicles in front of our home is excessively high, unsafe, and constitutes a serious hazard. Over the past 20 years of our ownership, we have never observed individuals observing a regular speed in this section of State Road 10, or the regulated speed, Our family consists of 3 children, aged 10, 9, and 6, who frequently engage in outdoor activities in the driveway. They participate in various activities such as riding bikes, using sidewalk, chalk, playing basketball, and even operating a lemonade stand during the summer months. Regrettably, an accident occurred at the intersection of State Road 10 and Tamarack on July 1st, 2026. A westbound vehicle skidded to halt directly in front of our residence, veered off the road, entered our yard, struck the NIPSCO gas line marker, damaged landscaping that had been recently completed, and subsequently departed the scene. Again, on this morning, July 3rd, 2026, my husband and I witnessed a similar situation. A car turning south onto School Street nearly rear-ended by another car driving westbound on State Road 10. The second car broke quickly and swerved, narrowly missing our mailbox. Our children were not present at the time of either incident. On either day, their presence in the front yard could have exacerbated the situation, potentially resulting in a more severe outcome. The individual responsible for the accident swerved off the road to avoid colliding with the rear end of the southbound vehicle entering School Street. This fact was corroborated by the footage captured on our neighbor's security camera, which I've actually seen, and it was exactly as she described it. The time of day does not seem to be a significant factor, although evenings appear to slightly be more hazardous. The type of vehicle does not seem to matter either. The most frightening encounters are the semi trucks that pass by so quickly that they shake our house and can be felt inside, even with the doors and windows closed. Every day, I pray that no one gets hurt or dies at the intersection of 10 and School St. Tamarack. Sorry, School Street and Tamarack. There we go. Golf carts, bicycles, walkers, and runners are across this intersection multiple times a day, sometimes even an hour. During the summer, the traffic at this intersection is even higher due to the tourists from all over town. There are many people from out of town or who do not obey the law restricting golf carts from State Road 10, and I fear for their safety the most. I fear a car coming over that hill to the west of the high school and not paying attention, speeding, and a golf cart driver turning onto 10 going east. The thought is horrifying. I'm asking, requesting, and begging someone to please take the time to acknowledge and witness the speed in this this section of 10. As I sit in our living room writing this letter, several cars have sped past at speeds I'm sure are well over 45 miles an hour. Please come sit in our driveway on Tamarack School Street. This area needs attention for the safety or not just our children, but the residents and visitors to the Culver. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I want to help, and I want this to change for safety reasons. A copy of this letter will be sent to the Culver Police Department, Indiana State Police Post in Bremen, and Marshall County Sheriff's Office. Sincerely, Robin Nichols. Chad and I met with her last night. We went down to the property. Chad was there. I stopped by, and we're both in agreement. Chad would like to see that dropped at 35, especially since they put the bus entrance on 10. He would like to also make an additional petition to NDOT that states that 45 turning off of 17 to 10 heading eastbound be made. He does not want to see 55 on that road any longer. He would like to 45 where 55 is now, 35 beginning before, and we can talk about this, and NDOT will have the final determination prior to that hill and where the buses enter. That hill is dangerous, especially at night when the evening sun in the west is setting. There are some issues that have happened, and Chad is very much so in support of petitioning NDOT, working with Bob and some of our
We'll
connections.
have to solicit NDOT to do a traffic study.
Absolutely.
But if you want to know quicker, you can go to MACOG and they'll put your traffic counters out, and that tells you directions and speeds and all that stuff to have data to go to NDOT.
Very good. And with council's permission, I'd like to pursue this and also ask that we have the council's approval and support of this. And if you want, and not at this moment, it doesn't require a vote. That's what's being petitioned. But I would like your permission to engage what Bob's saying with bringing in MACOG and contacting NDOT about a traffic study.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to get in touch with MACOG.
NDOT's quite a process, so it's not going to be quick.
No, and yeah, it's state bureaucracy. Yep. All right, so am I to understand that I have to reach out to MACOG?
Thanks for going down there last night too.
Absolutely. I will just compete with Jen. I want to thank Theaters Down, and that was an amazing process to watch. And the archaeologist came out at me, but DORA delivered. He did a great job on that and got that site secured. And I have to say, impressively secured. So special thanks to that. I want to thank our departments for the 4th of July weekend. It was quite adventurous. Fireworks unexpected. Nothing like waking up to a picture of a blown up porta potty. But they did a great job from our police enforcement to everybody. And it's always amazing that things go off without a hitch for the most part. I did have a nice meeting with Lakeview citizens concerning the recent no parking painting. They were very reasonable. We discussed their concern is that they lost a few. No, their concern is because they've lost spots between before and after that driveway. As I sat and listened to them, they are very safety conscious and are aware. And I explained to them that the average vehicle size is 14.7. Bob based it upon what the recommendation that we kind of both researched, given the fact that we are a tourist town, we have enormous amounts of golf cart traffic in this town, which are low profile vehicles moving quickly through our streets, especially on our feeder streets and our main streets. It will not take much for somebody to back into one of these and cause damage. So one of the things that we're trying to err on is safety. And so we based that number. They were very responsive to that. I did extend that we are absolutely monitoring it and we're weighing out how this impacts local communities and neighborhoods right now, and that we're not closing the book on it, but right now that's the standard. I'm also pursuing kind of reviving or resurrecting all the previous parking ordinances, including our disability ordinances, also putting our standardized measurement protocols into an ordinance. I want to present that in front of the council probably sometime in October or November once I work on it. But absolute conversations, and I hope that, and they're very responsive to it and appreciative of it. They also made an interesting recommendation, and Bob and I have talked about it, possibly looking into portable speed bumps. That's something Bob said he would consider, and looking and strategically placing them in areas where we know we're having speed incidents or speed problems. The nice thing about the portable speed bumps, they don't interfere with plowing season. We can move them around as necessary. The one thing that is a concern that Bob expressed to me, you have to drill down into the pavement to put them in. But if we know we have areas in town that we need them occasionally, especially during our volume months, we may want to look into that. So I appreciated Bob work on that too. Meeting with IDEM, Storm Division out at the wetland at the dunes, there has been some concerns expressed by Ohio Street. The developers were very responsive to IDEM Storm because they have to be, but there were some issues that are caused because that delay in development on that north side of the duplexes. They are remedying that. They are following IDEM, and I was very convinced, and they followed up with me, IDEM did. They are looking into it. We are monitoring that wetland. We are looking at it to watch those levels. And I'm getting a hold of the Army Corps of Engineers to come in to take a look at it, because that apparently is my contact, not DNR, not Marshall County, and it's not, believe it or not, Indiana Waterways. It's got to be there. So that was good. I do want to put in front of the council, and I did send an email. I would like to recommend a session to discuss the IDEM agreement order and take a look at how we're moving forward. Mark Sullivan said he can be here for that meeting to discuss and looking how we're going to communicate. Up to date, Jessica Irvine and Diane Roulon, who's our counselor, we've been communicating with them and they're very pleased with where we're at. Just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and I get council up to date and get their guidance on this matter as we move forward. So I will be reaching out to you through email to get that date maybe set up, and it would be a good meeting. I'm happy in the meantime, if you have questions or anything, absolutely stop by. I've got, pardon? That would be an executive session. I do believe I have, I'll have to research and get the specifics on it. Did attend Bourbon Street Council meeting last night. That was interesting. It was the first time I've been there. They say hi, and it was a quick order of business. Other than that, I want to remind, we have Lake Fest coming up. Very excited by that. And I think I'm going to check the boxes and I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Heim, your report.
Let's say, you had something?
I was just, the ADA triggered my brain. I was just gonna say, we have the Adaptive Water Ski Clinic coming on the 22nd, 23rd. It's such a great event. They had a really good turnout last year. They hope to have more this year. If you can volunteer or just come watch them ski, it is really such a fun event to watch. And then now that you said Lake Fest, I believe Dana is heading up a canoe regatta or part of it. And that's another event that just seems so cool. It seems real cool. So if you're out and about for Lake Fest, check that out. But definitely the
And
Adaptive
Crystal,
Water
thank
Ski.
you for all of your hospitality and kindness.
That guy's great. He just keeps bringing
Yeah.
us more and more merch every day. He's like,
I know, it's comes out bribing me all the time. No, and not kindness, it's more just cooperation, to make this really a great
Yeah.
weekend.
he's gonna bring a canoe over on Saturday
Yeah.
to the park for him
And
to
fits.
see what kind it is. and
It's what we
everything
do,
like
right? It's within what we're trying to do. It's not something weird.
That was all that just triggered my brain.
Our town manager and our clerk, I think, are gonna be in a boat together racing.
We are constantly battling the boat. Maybe not on a lake though, and we won't go into detail, but we're battling a boat.
You don't have an oar?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the creek.
Okay. Clerk's report, claims over 2,500. I have 4 claims for your approval. Marshall County Council on Aging, $7,200. That is the money that you all committed towards the transportation. program that they have, Culver and Lake Maxinkuckee Visitor Center, 7,500. That is a third quarter, I believe, payment to the Visitor Center. Joe Johnson Equipment, 9,413.62. That is for repairs to something at the sewer.
That's for the Vector.
The Vector repairs.
Estimate that I brought to you guys was over 16, so we changed the pennies around and it got fixed for 9.
A lot less than the original approval. And then finally, $2,500 for the Marshall County Economic Development Corporation. I believe that's the second quarter payment. So if I could have a motion to approve the claims over 2,500.
Motion to approve those claims, as total claims.
Mr. Mayor moves to approve claims over 2,500. May I have a second? Second. Second, by Mr. Sharkey. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Demir.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
I did want to read a thank you letter from Marshall County Council on Aging. When she sent the invoice, she also sent just kind of an update of what has been going on. She said, "Dear Town Council, thank you so much for your generous commitment to Marshall County Council on Aging's public transportation program. We had another record year in 2025 with 29,213 trips. We anticipate that our trips will continue to increase as the first quarter of 2026 saw an increase of 400 plus trips from last year's. And we have since expanded our transportation hours from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday." She said that she's happy to give us an update on transportation and their programs and to discuss any concerns or suggestions the council may have. She says your continued support is a true commitment to the quality of life for all of Marshall County and greatly appreciated. I wanted to share that with you. There is a report that I have to submit on an annual basis to report on the use of the opioid funds that we received. And that was submitted yesterday. The deadline was August 31st. So I want to pat myself on the back for getting it done a month early.
Bravo.
So that's one, and I'm sure next week I'll be attending that Indiana League of Municipal Clerks and Treasurers Conference in Michigan City. I'm actually one of the co-chairs for the conference, but I'm sure next week I'll be learning about more reports that I'll have to file in the next year. And then I just wanted to wish Sally a happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Bill's gonna buy you lunch.
Right, chicken. I said,
Fried
"That's
chicken,
Bill."
Here's good chicken.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Simon?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll put a motion, but happy birthday.
Thank you.
Any additional public dialogue? Yes, sir.
Craig, 522 South Main. I just want to understand this new ordinance from Monday and Tuesday, all those guys are closed. Does that mean someone like Vinny Carnegie can put a special event request in and have that part of the street closed out? Legally, he would be able to do that. Or is this, do the people that are having the events still have to, like Susie did for her party, come to the council?
Yes.
Say this, you vote on it. And is that open for public discussion? Like, how does the new ordinance work?
The only designated retail permittee is Cafe Max.
Yeah.
They would have to amend the ordinance to get added. She's the only one on this.
If Cafe Max was closed during the hours mandated, then that door is closed because she's the provider. Secondly, special permits do not change. So it'd be the same thing, and Susie mentioned it tonight. If they wanted to have a beer garden, whatever, you're still going through the temporary permit process with Chad.
So
But thank you.
Did the other person in town on that street that serves alcohol, did they choose not to participate?
Yes. And that was a choice. Every business makes a choice.
Yeah.
They'll have a sticker in the window. That's why the applications have to go from business to business. They have to opt in. And you can't be within 200 foot. There's a lot of limitations. 200 foot of church, we're good. There's everything checked out, but yes.
So anytime Susie wants to have an event, she can. Number one. Number two.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by event, Craig. She can have DORA cups in her. They can have DORA, and within participating stores, those DORA cups can transfer from her
to Liz,
to Liz,
whatever.
but she can't hold an outdoor event and serve alcohol, if that's what you're asking me.
But Jeff and I can buy a beer at dinner, sit outside, and if he wants to walk across the street.
With a
he
DORA
gets up,
cup,
he
yes,
walks. So
yes.
is there a purchase price for that cup or is the alcohol the purchase?
It-
That's what I'm trying to understand.
That is ran by the merchant, not the town. The town ordinance that is supplied by the merchant, and that's their deal, the signage and the windows, all that. So
So do the other retailers have to have a sign that says, yes, you can bring alcohol in the
yes,
store?
that's what I said. Yes,
Are
they have
they
to opt
allowed?
in.
Are they allowed to sell
No,
cups?
no,
Just Susan.
just as good.
Still have to have a liquor license.
That's right. You have to have a participating liquor license to sell it.
It's really just an expansion of the open container.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. But thank you.
Second thing is, we talk about the park crystals here, cleanup. You committed to have the football guys come and pull weeds.
Well,
Is there-
I've
is there a
asked,
date?
yes.
Is there a date set for that?
We are working with the football program currently. We're looking at the last weekend in July. We're coordinating schedules with everybody. It's a volunteer process. I would love that to be the last Saturday of the month. We're gonna get down there, do some weed pulling. I'll make that known here as I solidify next week.
I guess the reason I'm asking is I know about 40 guys my age that cut grass.
Let's go get them down there.
They wanna know so they can.
I will absolutely put it out on Town, Gown and Lake, and the more the merrier, Craig. Let them know. Sounds great. But yeah, we'll get it out there. We'll blast it. It's just some moving parts with the football team, different people. But yep, that's what the tentative schedule is.
I don't care if 5 people come from the football team, just so that we have some.
Well, I do, because
Do
they're
we need-
great kids and they're actually young and healthy. So yeah, I dare.
Do we need permission to pull weeds in the park from the lake from?
So surprisingly, last fall, I actually reached out to the DNR and got permitting for it.
Okay.
And the permitting is good up until the December, and I'll probably reapply because this keeps coming back. I've worked with Lake Maxinkuckee, Adam Theta. Adam's going to be there, hopefully be there. He said he may have some conflict, but he helped me on the guidance process on how to do it. And his recommendation was to do it.
Yeah.
And so we got it all covered.
Is there
permitting-wise.
anything else the town can do to help Crystal maintain the park?
I'm working with Crystal every day and Crystal communicates with me. And yeah, I mean, we're always in contact with each other.
Okay, thank you. Council issues, Mr. Mayor.
Just, Lake Max Triathlon will be here in 1 month, so thank you. Be great for our town once again.
Ms. Monroe.
Happy 60th, Sally.
Oh, there's a number.
Thank you.
Mr. Sardi.
I had nothing.
The chair has nothing. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Get motion.
Mr. Mayor moves to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Sardi. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Day, or I'm sorry, Mrs. Monroe.
Aye.
Grenier.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
Thanks
We're-
for putting up with me online, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah.
See ya. 60, huh?
I think she fudged a little.
Well, just a tiny bit.
With several years ago.